it. And what I want to make clear is this: who am I speaking to? Who is it that may be interested in hearing about DNA reset for fat loss? So this is my signature program that I created ground up. It is robust. It is a program that is going to allow me to really have this group program that is just like one-on-one, because I am still interpreting everything for you, okay? But who I'm speaking to are going to be women like myself, or I should say women in a place where I was at one point. And so who I'm speaking to are women who are having trouble losing weight. Now, this could be that you've always struggled your entire life. You've struggled, staying at a healthy body weight. It's always been harder for you than the girl next to you. Or there may be some of you who say, I actually really didn't struggle throughout life, but I'm struggling now. And I've always known how to take the 5 pounds off. I've always known if I've had a trip coming up, I could take 10 pounds off. But those things that I used to do in order to take that weight off is not working for me anymore. So if either of those scenarios are you, then I am talking to you. For myself, I've always had a hard time staying at a healthy body weight. Always have. I've known this since elementary school. Is that crazy? But I have. And I remember in elementary school looking at other girls and thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I had her skinny legs. I mean, it's nuts. And so throughout my life, I've always known that it was harder for me than it was for the next person. And it wasn't until now that I actually have answers as to why. And I also want to get you those answers, not just as to why, but okay, now we know why, what can we do about it? And that's what we're going to be doing here. So I'm also talking to women who are not only struggling with losing weight, but women who've lost their energy. And here's the problem. Because I know I'm talking to a lot of women like myself, they say in life that you attract people who are like you. I really believe this. And so I know I attract a lot of people who are like me, and we are driven. We like to get things done, right? But here's the problem. If we aren't feeling so great because we're tired, we're fatigued, we start to have this negative self-talk like we're lazy. We start calling ourselves lazy. But you have to ask yourself, instead of getting down on yourself for being lazy, you have to say, okay, why am I feeling this way? And let me dig into that, right? Why? I don't normally feel this way, but I am now. And since I probably didn't just become a lazy person overnight, let me figure out what that is. Okay. So you have trouble losing weight. Maybe you've got some pounds creeping on. And that's scaring you because every time you get on the scale, you're up just a little bit more. You don't have energy. Some of you are having trouble sleeping at night. And when you do end up falling asleep, you end up waking up. Your mind is racing. Okay, I'm speaking to you as well. Maybe you're struggling with night sweats. Maybe you're struggling with hot flashes. Maybe you're struggling with pooping. I mean, it's a real thing. Maybe it's not talked about all the time, but so many women struggle with constipation. Okay. We're going to help you with that as well. Maybe you're getting a lower belly pooch. Maybe you're looking at yourself, sideways in the mirror and going, what on earth is going on? I mean, is that fat? I don't know, but I've got a lower belly pooch, right? Maybe you are just struggling with putting that little bit of extra weight on around your midsection. And this happens. This happens to women as we get to that 35, 40, 45, right? Our hormones start to change and we start to put weight on in areas where we never put weight on before. Okay, so I'm speaking to you as well. And if any of those things resonated with you, especially if a number of those things resonated with you, then you're going to want to keep listening because I want to solve each of those problems for you. And if you've just hopped on and you wonder why I'm kind of looking back and forth, it's because I'm on both Instagram and in my Facebook group. Okay. And if you are watching me on Instagram and you are not in my Facebook group yet, send me a DM and I'll get you the link to get into my Facebook group. Okay. because I do share a lot more information in this group. I'm just also sharing on Instagram in case there's anybody who catches this who is wanting this info. Okay. So now you know who I'm speaking to. So if any of those things resonated with you, then you're going to want to stay tuned. Now, how are we going to solve this problem? What are we going to do to get you better sleep? What are we going to do to get you at a healthy body weight, to have energy again so that you actually feel like doing things? And here's what happens. This is, I get that, and maybe some of my clients are on here right now. And I will ask the question, how are your energy levels? And my clients will say, oh, well, they're not too bad. I'm pretty good at pushing through my days. I get done what I need to get done. That has nothing to do with your energy levels. That means you're stubborn. I wasn't asking about your personality, right? But that's what we do as women, is we push through and we're not even paying attention. We're not even paying attention to the fact that we are exhausted and that if we sit down for 1 second, we're going to fall asleep. And if that's you, then your energy levels are not where they need to be, not where they can be, okay? So what are the things that we are going to use to help you get from where you are to where you want to be? And there are 2 things that we are going to use. Number 1, we're going to use real-time lab work. And what I mean by real-time is you're going to go in, get a blood draw. That's going to tell us exactly where your body is right now. How are your organ systems functioning right now, today, based on what you're doing in your life? The second thing we're going to do is you're going to send in a DNA sample. I'm going to send you a DNA test kit. You're going to collect a sample, super easy, swab your cheek. That's it. Send it off in the mail. And we are going to see the cards God dealt you. Maybe we shouldn't blame it on him. Your parents, right? Because we are the sum of both of our parents. So what cards were we dealt? Now, that's not real-time information necessarily, right? That's going to tell us, well, you have a tendency for. This information can tell us you have a tendency for insulin resistance and diabetes. And that is valuable information to have because that is going to tell us how should you be eating so that we can make sure that that doesn't happen, that you don't receive that diagnosis. We can find out, how does caffeine affect you? Should you be drinking caffeine? The one thing you're going to have to remember is I am just the messenger, okay? So when I deliver this information to you, it is your genes. Now, that's not real time. You might say, no, I've never noticed anything with caffeine. Actually, I feel fine with caffeine. Your genes may say otherwise. And here's the thing that happens with genes a lot of the time is these things don't express themselves until later on in life. And this is why at times we can say, well, what used to work for me isn't working for me anymore. Now, there's several reasons for that, but one of those reasons is your DNA, because now we've got things that are starting to express themselves that maybe weren't in our 30s or in our 20s, but they are now in our 40s and in our 50s. Our DNA can tell us, I mean, should you be eating carbohydrates? Should you not? Are you processing fats well or not? You know, what kind of diet should you be eating for you? Not because your friend or your sister is doing keto, not because somebody else is doing paleo, but how should you be eating? And this information is so valuable because then when you can follow what your genes are wanting from you, you are no longer going to feel like you are white knuckling anything. If you feel like you are having to have strong willpower to lose weight or to maintain weight, then you're not doing something right. And it's not a blame, it's just that you don't know. But if we are in a place where we feel like we are constantly like, oh, I'm saying no, gosh, I want that cake so bad, but I'm saying no, we can get you into a place where maybe at one point you had a crazy sweet tooth and now you can look at that cake and say, sure, it looks good. I mean, who doesn't like cake? But I don't feel a magnetic pull to that cake anymore. I'm actually just saying no because I don't want that today. And that's where we want to get you. So I want to say this, your DNA is not your destiny. And I do think it's very important because sometimes we can get these reports back and we can go, oh my gosh, see, I'm destined to be overweight, but you're not, because epigenetics play a huge role, right? Epigenetics meaning, how are you living your life? What are your daily habits? Because your daily habits are either going to allow those genes to express themselves or not allow those genes to express themselves. I'll tell you my genes. I was actually told that I would be the longest to survive in an apocalypse. What that means is my body is amazing at making fat, and it's actually not very great at using fat for energy, burning fat. I just like hang on to all of it. Like I am a professional fat maker, and I don't use my fat very well for energy. Now, if a person were to look over, somebody who knew about DNA were to look over my DNA report, but they hadn't seen me yet, they would expect to see an obese woman. That's what my genetics say. I'm not, because of epigenetics. But this information is so valuable to me. I have a huge propensity towards inflammation. And knowing that, then I can make sure that I'm doing all of the things in my life to stave off that inflammation. I also am not set up to detoxify well. This is why at 9 years old, I had acne all over, literally all over, starting at 9 years old, because I don't detoxify well. But I can do the things daily to optimize my detoxification because I have this information. So does that make sense? We've got your DNA. This is like unchanging. It's what you have. You will take this DNA test one time. That is it. Never again. Real-time lab testing, that changes. That changes based on your lifestyle, how you're eating, if you're exercising, all of those things. And so lab testing, you want to do intermittently. Twice a year is amazing, but at minimum, one time per year. So those are the two things that we are going to be using together, is your unchanging DNA and your real-time lab results. That's what DNA reset for fat loss is. So who am I? I haven't even said my name. Those of you in my Facebook group, you know, I'm Tanya Pennington-Miller. On Instagram, you may or may not know, I have a history of competing in figure competitions. I've done all the diets. I have a history of competing in CrossFit competitions, in Spartan races ranging from 3 miles to 30 miles, half marathons. I've done all the things. The one thing that I didn't want to bring to you, because I think what we can agree on here is we're coming up to the new year and there is not going to be any shortage of people trying to sell you programs, right? They're going to be out there. 12-week this, 6-week that, smash the fat, all those things, right? But I'm going to tell you why DNA Reset for Fat Loss, my signature program, is so unique and so special. What I am not bringing to you is a 12-week cutting program. Guess what I did when I competed in figure competitions? I did 12-week cutting programs, 16-week cutting programs, 20-week cutting programs. Did they work in terms of getting really, really lean? Yeah, I got really, really lean. Guess what happened after? Guess what happened after the competition was over and I was no longer restricted to that cutting program? My weight was a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster. I am not interested in bringing you a cutting program. I don't like those. There are wonderful trainers, coaches, all kinds of people who put those programs out there. And I am not dogging them. I'm saying for me and my philosophy and what I want to bring to my clients, that is not a part of it. because I'm not interested in having you eat one way for 4 weeks and then cutting your calories and having you eating that way for the next 4 weeks, and then cutting your calories even further and having you eat that way for the next 4 weeks. Will you lose weight during that cutting process? Absolutely. But then when we're done at the end of that 12 weeks, then what? Then you're going to go back up because I've just lowered your calories. And guess what happens every time you lower your calories? Your metabolism is a whole heck of a lot smarter than you are. And so your metabolism lowers as well. Your metabolism will meet you where you are. Eat less, burn less. So that is not what we're doing here. This program is unique because I am helping you unlock your own personal genetic code to lose the stubborn weight and keep it off. We are not cutting in this program. And that's going to be a lot of what you'll see out there. So with DNA testing, with the lab testing, we put together a very specific protocol for you. This program lasts 8 weeks. You meet with me every single week. I walk you through the entire program. Here is how this program is set up. I work with clients one-on-one regularly. And there was something that was starting to bother me. To work with me one-on-one is very expensive. And I can get a person incredible results during our time together. But optimizing your health is not a one-time thing. It would be like saying you just read the Bible one time and then you're good. You're set. You're good to go. Never need to read it again. It's not the truth. You've got to keep reading it over and over and over again, right? And depending on where you're at in your life, different parts of the Bible speak to you in different ways. We've got to do the same thing with optimizing our health. Here's what started to bother me. Because my prices are so high to work with somebody one-on-one, it wasn't really feasible for people to continue the process of optimizing their health with me year after year after year. And I want to provide a program where you go through it, you optimize your health, and you feel amazing. And then guess what? I'm going to launch this program every January, every May, every September. So maybe you go through this first program. This is my beta launch, by the way. This is going to be the lowest price that this program will ever be because it's the first time I'm launching it. Let's say you go through this program in January. We get through our 8 weeks together. You feel amazing. You decide in May, do you want to keep the ball rolling? Do you want to lab test again and continue the optimization process? Or do you want to wait 6 months and wait for the next program? That's what this program is designed to do, because here's how it's going to work. You're going to sign up the first time and it's going to be a particular price. When you're ready to come back and optimize your health, it's going to be like half. And I can do that because we're in a group setting. Now it's feasible for you to optimize your health with me year after year. I am still interpreting personally, your results. My biggest fear with a group program is a watered down program, and I won't do it. I won't do it. That's why I've stuck with doing one-on-ones for all these years. But I have been working so hard on this program so that I can create a group program for you that is just like having one-on-ones with me without the same cost. Okay. I will offer an upgrade, a VIP upgrade for, a handful of you who just really still want that one-on-one with me. You can upgrade to that if you need to. Now, you may be thinking, I've had my labs done. Actually, just went to my doctor fairly recently, and my doctor said my labs are normal. So maybe I don't need this program because my labs are all good. 2 problems with that. Number one, your conventional medicine doctor does not run even a fraction of the labs that I run. They can't. There's 2 reasons they can't. Number one, well, I shouldn't say they can't. One of the reasons is they are just not willing to. Number 2 reason is because they kind of can't. And that's because in order for them to order labs for you, they have to have a specific code. And in order for them to write that specific code down, you have to have a particular symptom. Because you have to remember, our conventional medicine system is not about optimizing our health. It's a sick care system, right? So you have to be presenting with symptoms in order for them to order a set of particular labs. Because here's what will happen. Your doctor, if I give you the list and your doctor orders all of those labs, and I've seen this happen time and time again, because sometimes they will, your insurance is who decides if they want to pay for those or not. So then you get the bill from your insurance company, upwards of $2,500 just for the labs. Okay. Here's the thing. This is a thing that you really have to understand. The small amount of labs that your doctor did order for you, when they tell you that your labs are normal, is because of the ranges and how they were designed. So when you take a look at a particular marker and it says you need to be between, let's just say 5 and 10. The way that they came up with this, you need to be between 5 and 10, is because most people who live in your demographic area are between 5 and 10. So as long as you're there, you're normal. I mean, I kid you not, this is how they come up with these numbers. It's statistics. So then you take a look around you in your demographic area and you say, do I want to be the average of all of the people that I see around me? Probably not. So what we take a look at when we look at your labs from a functional perspective, I'm interpreting your labs with functional optimized ranges. So maybe most people are between 5 and 10, but maybe optimal is between 7 and 8. And when you start to get out of that optimal range between 7 and 8, I'm going to warn you. And I'm going to say, hey, you're at 9.9 right now. And you're about to go over into disease, right? Normal labs just mean you're free of disease, which is good news. But what you really want is to have your health optimized beyond being free of disease, right? So this explains why your doctor may tell you that your labs are normal. You may also be thinking, I've tried every diet. I've tried keto. I've tried paleo. I've tried Mediterranean. I've tried high carb, low carb, high fat, low fat, all the crazy diets that are out there. But it's possible that you just haven't tried the one that your genetics say that you should eat. And that's what we're going to figure out together. 2 more things I want to say today. 1, I want to give you a little bit of background about my story. And then I have a question for you that I want all of you to answer for me in the comments. And I will go back and read them before tomorrow's video. And you are going to help me shape the information that I share with you tomorrow. Okay. So here is why I have such a huge heart for helping all of you, the exact woman that I'm speaking to. And if you missed that part in the beginning, just make sure you, once I post these at the end, go back to the beginning so that you know, are you the woman that I'm speaking to? Now, I have been in this industry for over 20 years. So I am right where God has destined me to be, helping you. But when I really came into this place of helping the women that I'm helping, it's because of my own experience. A lot of my history is in not only competing in figure competitions myself, but helping other women step on stage to compete. I was a competition coach. You want a 6-pack? I'll get you a 6-pack. But over the years, that has changed. And if somebody gets a 6-pack now, it's not because I'm carb cycling you or cutting you or any of those things. It's because you are actually getting healthy from the inside out. And those body composition benefits now just come as a side effect of getting healthy. So what happened to me, and this was in my mid-30s, is I started to gain not a ton of weight, just a little bit of weight, just where I'm like, gosh, why is the scale just kind of moving up? Definitely not going down and kind of just moving up. And this didn't make sense because I told you I had already been coaching for years for people to step on stage. So it wasn't lack of knowledge, but the weight was creeping on. My rings was having a really hard time getting rings off and on. Like I was just inflamed. I could see it in my face. My cheeks were just, it's like they were just full. My hair was thinning. I had a lower belly pooch. I mean, I just remember standing sideways, looking in the mirror, thinking like, what is this down here? What is it fat? I don't know, but it's there. But then some days it wouldn't be there. So I'm like, maybe it's not fat. One of the saddest things for me, because I was fairly newly married at this point, is that I had lost my sex drive. And that's a hard thing for some women to admit, because then we often feel like that says something about our partner. It doesn't. It doesn't. Your partner can be amazing, sexy, wonderful, takes out the garbage and puts down the toilet seat every single time, right? Does all the right things. But you're just thinking, I just could kind of do without sex. And that's where I was. Not a good feeling, especially as a newlywed. That's where I found myself. So I did what a lot of you have probably done. And I went to my doctor. And I said, here's how I'm feeling. I have no energy whatsoever. I'm gaining weight. I've got this little lower belly pooch that's coming on. I'm not sleeping at night. Oh my gosh, I was not sleeping at night. And then when I would finally fall asleep, I for sure was going to wake up and then my mind would just be spinning, like thinking in fast forward. Not of good things, of all the bad things. I mean, it could be things from 10 years ago, right? So I'm telling her all of this and she says, okay, great. Let's order the labs. I go in for the blood draw. Finally, I go in for my results appointment and I'm like, oh, so happy because today I'm going to find the answer. I'm going to know what is wrong with me. Like I didn't even care what the answer was going to be. Like I didn't even care how bad it was going to be. I just wanted the answer. And I remember I'm in there and I'm sitting on her table and she walks in, she has my labs in her hands and she tosses them over to me and they land on the table next to me. And she goes, man, I wish I had your labs. You're going to live to be 100 years old. All you need is some vitamin D. I was devastated. I was beyond devastated. So this is it. I'm just now going to kind of start gaining weight. Nothing I can do about it. And I've spoken with a lot of you, and I know that a lot of you have been in those same shoes. But I am stubborn, and I knew that that was not my future. And so I went to work. I did a bunch of functional tests and figured out that not only did I have I was beyond adrenal fatigue. I was actually diagnosed with adrenal exhaustion. And that particular doctor looked me in the eyes, grabbed the sides of my face and said, I don't ever want to hear you call yourself lazy again. And I cried. She said, you are in adrenal exhaustion. I don't know how you're waking up. I don't know how you're getting through your day. Furthermore, I was diagnosed with hypothyroid. So I had an underactive thyroid. I had a parasite. So sometimes those lower belly pooches are a lot of inflammation happening in your gut. I also had low testosterone and low progesterone. So all of these explain, the progesterone tells me the low progesterone and cortisol explain why I can't sleep. My testosterone explains why my sex drive had disappeared. And with my adrenals being in the place that they were, of course, I was inflamed. Did you know your adrenal glands live right on top of your kidneys, which control your water balance? So I was able to get to work. I went through a whole process and I stand here today optimized. I sleep beautifully. My husband is very happy that my sex drive is back. My hair is not falling out. I'm at a healthy body weight. And I knew in that moment that everything that I went through was not going to be for nothing. And so this program, this DNA reset for fat loss, is my step-by-step program to walk you through that same walk to get you into the place that I am at today. Did I go through this one time and I was set? No. I work on optimizing my health every year. Initially, it was twice a year. Now, once a year. I run labs on myself one time per year. In fact, I'm going to do it with all of you who sign up for my first round. We're going to do it together. I'm doing the whole thing with you. I'll give you some more details on Friday about the specifics of what we're doing in there, but I'm going to do that with you. Here's what I want you to do. Would you share with me in the comments what your struggles are? What is it that you are struggling with? What part of what I'm talking about is making you say, oh my gosh, I've got to listen to this. I want some more information. What are you struggling with? Is yours weight? Is it energy or lack thereof? Is it your sleep? Is it constipation? Is it diarrhea? Is it hot flashes, night sweats? What are the and maybe it's something I haven't named. But if you could share in the comments, and so especially for those of you who are in my private Facebook group, you know, we've got no men in there. It's only women. So completely safe to share. And I'm not going to come back on here and go on Instagram and say anybody's names and who's constipated. Okay. But I am going to speak to each of those things because I want to give you some usable information this week. Not all of you watching are going to sign up for my program. In fact, there's not even enough room for all of you in this first round. And so some of you are watching and you want some info. You want something that you can implement into your life this week and see some change. And I want to give that to you. So please share with me what it is that you are struggling with. Yeah, night sweats. Those night sweats are a bugger. I'm looking at some of the comments on Facebook. We're going to talk about all of this. Sex drive. And I think a lot of women don't always think about sex drive. Like we weren't wired like men. So all the stars kind of have to align for us to have a sex drive anyway. And so when it kind of starts to go away, sometimes we're not even fully aware of it. But we're going to talk about all of this. I want to give you usable information this week. Now, I will say this. I am going to offer a little special today. So I don't actually open the program up to sell it until the end of the week. But some of you have been so patient because you have been wanting to sign up for this program. So I am going to do just a 1-day, 2-day Cyber Monday special. Okay, just today. After that, the coupon code will close out, won't be good tomorrow, and then I'll open up the program at the end of the week. Okay, so you want to be on my waiting list and in my Facebook group, and I'm going to share all of that information. If you just know, like, I want to be in, I do have more information for you to read. Okay, I have a web page that you can go through, see what we're doing in each module, what are we going to cover, all of those things. So you can have more information before signing up. But I know some of you are just ready. So I want to provide that for you. It's Cyber Monday. I haven't done any other sales or anything. So I will provide that for both of you. Okay. Oh, this is going to be good. Even acne. Okay. Energy, weight gain, sex drive, fatigue, high eosinophils. Yep. That's a big one too. I had elevated eosinophils. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to give you some good information, some usable information that you can use. I could just talk to you all forever. So that's it for today. You are going to help me decide how I'm going to help you on Wednesday. Okay. So show up on Wednesday, hear all the answers, what it is that everybody else is struggling with. You're going to find that so many of you are struggling with very similar things. And I'm going to give you some answers this week so that you can put those into play, okay, and start to make some change. Again, if you're on Instagram, please come back to my page, put your comments in the comments there so that I can see all of them. Let me see if there's any. Okay. It's hard for me to see from here, but just make sure you do that when I post this. All right. So that is all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I am so excited. Remember, this is going to be a beta launch. So those of you who sign up, you're going to be my founding members. You're going to help me create this program for all future launches that I do. And for that reason, this will be the lowest price that it will ever be offered at. Okay. So, and again, the space will be limited because remember, this is not going to be a watered down program. I am interpreting everything for you still, so I can't have too many people in there so that I can make sure I can give you quality. Okay, so have a wonderful day. Give me all your information in the comments. I'll be back Wednesday morning, 10 a.m., and we'll get you all that info. All right. Bye-bye.